my name is Daniella, and I'm a registered dietitian coming to you from Toronto. Welcome to part one of our nutrition sessions. I'm so excited to be sharing today's session with you. Our topic is Canada's Food Guide, and we're going to be making a French toast, and I'll be concluding with a few food safety and helpful tips. Canada's Food Guide was recently revised. It is a very useful tool that can be used at any stage and age. And it talks about the importance and the principles of what we eat as well as how we eat. So the what we should be eating is really essentially what's on this plate. It can be accessed via the link below, and you can look it up yourself anytime on the internet. You can print PDFs or colorful copies of this as well. And it's a really pretty visual, but more importantly, what it does is it outlines what we should be eating throughout the day. So if you thought about everything we ate in a day and you put it out on a plate, our plate should look like this. Essentially, half of our plate includes a variety of fruits and vegetables daily. So we should all be eating a rainbow, eating a really colorful diet. It will give us vitamins and antioxidants that are really healthy and promote optimal health. A quarter of our plate should include protein. Protein is really important as we age because as we get older, we lose lean tissue. It's just a natural part of aging, and we have to keep our muscle up in order to remain strong and prevent injury. So it's important to get protein 3 times a day, a little bit of protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Today we'll be using an egg in our French toast, which is an excellent source of protein. Other sources of protein, as you can see on this plate, include fish, chicken, and milk, yogurt, nuts, seeds, chickpeas, lentils, and even tofu. The other quarter of the plate, as you can see here, includes whole grains. Whole grains provide us with essential energy and vitamins, B vitamins, and nutrients and fiber that's really important for digestive health. It's important to eat healthy fats every day, aiming for more unsaturated fats, oils, nuts, seeds, avocado, and less of the saturated and trans fats. Make sure you're drinking more water, teas, less of the sugary beverages, and monitoring the amount of alcohol and caffeine that you take in. Use food labels. They can get tricky to navigate, so we'll spend a session talking about those. But that will help you choose products that have less sugar and less sodium. And again, the food guide does emphasize choosing products that have less sodium and added sugar. The food guide also talks about physical activity. So for adults and older adults, at least 150 minutes of physical activity a week is recommended in small bouts. So 10-minute intervals or more is more than enough. Always check with your physician or healthcare practitioner if they've told you to be careful with physical activity. And the how is also important. So be mindful when you eat. Many of us now stuck at home, going out less in the winter with the pandemic, don't have a lot of structure, and we may either forget a meal or we may be nushing all day long. It's important to eat 3 to 4 small meals every day and healthy snacks. And if you structure this in, it will help with mindful eating. So taking the time to eat is important. Noticing when you're hungry and when you are full. Cook more often. So if you're someone who's ordered in or relies on takeout, can you prepare a healthy snack? Can you start making yourself a lunch every day? Plan what you eat and involve others in the planning. So if someone's doing grocery shop for you, can you add that to the list? If someone's helping you prep food, could you ask someone to cut up some fruits and vegetables ahead of tomorrow's meals? Enjoy your food. This is really important. Food is social. It's part of our culture. It's part of our food traditions. And this can all be part of healthy eating. And take time to eat meals with others. It's a wonderful time to connect with family and friends. If it's not live and it's over Zoom or virtual platforms, that's fine as well. More importantly, make sure that you're eating a balance of these nutrients every day. And let's get started with a recipe that will provide us with these nutrients that are essential and outlined by Canada's Food Guide. Let's get started with our French toast. Today you will need 1 egg, quarter of a cup of your milk of choice, 2%, 1%, or a plant-based milk, an olive avocado oil or avocado oil spray, canola oil works as well, any whole grain bread that you prefer. Here's a light rye, here's a whole grain Silver Hills bread. A little bit of cinnamon is optional, and then we'll be using some fresh or frozen berries as a garnish and a drizzle of maple syrup. So let's get started. First thing you'll need is to crack 1 egg in a shallow bowl. Add about a quarter of a cup of milk. Please adjust this recipe based on your appetite. You can use 1 or 2 eggs as specified in the recipe. We'll give this a really nice whisk. You want it to get super fluffy. And then after it's whisked, you'll take your bread of choice and let it sit in the egg. So the idea is that the bread absorbs most or all of the egg. You can let it sit for about a minute. While you're letting it sit, let's oil the pan. I'm going to spray a little bit of the avocado oil on the spray, just a light drizzle. You can put a drizzle of olive oil, canola oil. We'll heat the pan to medium heat. And once that's heated up, we will take our French toast, which has absorbed most of the egg. You can just drizzle the rest on. And I'm going to put that on the pan. Usually it needs about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. After about 3 or 4 minutes on one side, flip it over. Try and keep it all together. And use the spatula to really push the French toast down. You really want it to cook all the way through and dry out a little bit. Again, 3 or 4 minutes on each side should do it. My French toast is looking great. It's pretty toasted on both sides. I'm going to now take it and put it on a plate. It's a meal that has protein, whole grain. To finish off my French toast, I'm going to drizzle it with a little bit of maple syrup, a dusting of cinnamon if you like that, and I'm going to put a few fresh berries on the side to eat with my French toast. I just enjoyed my French toast for lunch. I hope you did too. Couple of pointers for today's session. Please remember to always cook eggs thoroughly. Never eat raw eggs as it increases our risk of salmonella. Food poisoning is harder to fight off when you're older because your immune system weakens. Make sure you're using safe food handling tips. I'm going to provide a link here below for some more resources on that. Couple other pointers for our recipe today. It's important that you have food available. So for those days when there's a snowstorm or you're not feeling very well and running low on groceries, you've always got backup in the freezer. So you can put your bread in the freezer and take out a slice or two as needed. That keeps it fresher than keeping it out on the counter. The second thing you can do is if you don't have fresh berries available, or they're very pricey because they're not in season, go and get some frozen berries and always have them as backup. They're pretty affordable when berries aren't in season. When they're frozen, they're just as nutritious, if not more, than fresh because they're flash frozen at the time of harvest and all the nutrients are locked in. So frozen strawberries, frozen wild blueberries, these are my favorite. They last a very long time in the freezer and you can just thaw them out and have that on your French toast. You can store leftover French toast in the fridge for a day or two and heat it up the next day or eat it cold as a snack. Remember, the French toast gives you protein, which is really important for muscle synthesis. If you use a nice, good quality bread, it's a whole grain, which gives us fiber. It's good for our digestive system, for our health. And the berries add some vitamins, antioxidants, and that color that we all need at every meal and snack. I hope you enjoyed that meal, and I look so forward to part 2, which is coming up shortly. Thanks again for joining me today and wishing you healthy eating. All the best.